All right, we're looking at a little half sheet. It's not numbered, but it is right before 57 in your packet. It's just a little warm-up. So it is trig practice. We're using our triangle LMN, and we're going to find all three trig functions. So what am I talking about, all three trig functions? We are looking at our sine, cosine, and tangent. And then I want you guys to remember that you need to use your little acronym, so katoa, or your little sheet that's going to help you with these sides. So all we're going to do is fill this in. My suggestion is you label this, and I want to remind you that the capital L is the angle, that's the vertex, and it's always opposite the side, and that's your lowercase l, which is 15. So go ahead and label that 15. M, here's vertex M, here's little n, 36, and n, the side across from it. So rather than having to name everything like LM and NM, they go ahead and they do the opposite vertex with the lowercase. All right, well, now that I have it, let's go ahead, let's find our sine. And we're going to do for angle L. So circle angle L, that's our focus. So sine of L, we're going to do cosine of L, and we're going to do tangent of L. So we're not actually solving the triangle. We're not actually going to find the angle measure. We are just looking at what the ratio of the sides are. Okay, and we want reduced fractions. So here we go. Let's label this. If this is my angle, this is always a hypotenuse. This side is along it, so it's the adjacent. Get it? Along adjacent. And this side is the opposite. So I want you to have these things labeled. And then if it helps you, have your little sheet here. I don't know if I can get it all on the screen. Let me try this. Not my smoothest moves here. Here we go. Maybe that will work. All right, now that I have it all in the screen here, when I go to do the sine, I'm taking the opposite over the hypotenuse. So here we go. The opposite is 15. The hypotenuse is 39. Now, we need to reduce. And so you can take your calculator and type it in. I know they both divide by 3. So it should be 5 over 13, but let's just double check it. So 15 fraction 39. I just have to hit enter on mine, but some calculators you have to hit simplify up here. All right, so it is 5/13. That is all we wanted, was that ratio for sine. Okay, now cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So the adjacent was 36 and the hypotenuse was 39. All right, so let's go ahead and reduce that again. I know they at least divide by 3. Let's see if we can go further. Nope, just by 3. 12 over 13 again. And then tangent is opposite over adjacent. So here's my angle. The opposite is 15, and the adjacent is 36. All right, so it should divide both by 3, and we'll type it in. 15 divided by 36, and there it is, 5/12. Okay, so that was just a little reminder. Now, if I would say to find the functions for the angle of M, and then if we're looking at M, then this would be your opposite and this would be your adjacent, and you would do these accordingly. So there is the sine, cosine, and tangent ratios. All right, now go to worksheet 57, and let's talk about this. It says find the value of each trigonometric ratio. So you need to pay attention to what it's asking. You're not doing all of these, so this won't take you too much time. You're going to do each individual problem. So this side says find the cosine of x. Please circle x, and this is what we're looking for on your paper. If this is x, this is my adjacent, opposite, and hypotenuse. For every problem, we want to see the angle circled, and we want to see each side labeled. Now, if I'm doing cosine, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So that's the CAH, C-A-H, okay? And that's going to help me. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So to find the cosine of x, which I guess I could just write there, it is the adjacent, 48, over the hypotenuse, 50. Now don't leave me that answer. Go ahead and reduce it. They definitely both divide by 2. Let's see if we can go further. Nope, just 2. 24 over 25. So cosine x equals 24. over 25. I think it's good to show the original ratio just in case you mess up. We can at least see what you had here. So show that original. All right, let's jump down to number 5. It says tangent of A. So circle A and then label the sides. Now, if this is A, this is along A, so it's adjacent. This is your opposite, and this is hypotenuse. So label all the sides. And I'm just going to actually put it up here. So tan A, let's see what it equals. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. There's your TOA, opposite adjacent. So the opposite is 30. The adjacent is 16. Now, I know these both divide by at least a 2, and that would give me 15 over 8. Now, let me show you in the calculator real quick. If I type in 30 fraction 16, and I hit enter or simplify, I get that mixed number, and I want to hit second and the key that says ABC to DE, which is improper to mix to improper, and it's going to change it back to the 15/8. So I'm probably just going to put my answer up here, make it a little easier. So tangent A is 15/8. Now eventually we're going to find this, and we're going to use the inverse to find what the measure of the angle is. Right now we're focusing on this. Okay, flip it over. Now, I looked at this and I realized that there's no problems like this. It says find the value of each trig ratio, which is the same as the front, and it says you may have to find a missing side using Pythagorean theorem. And then I was looking at these problems. None of them have missing sides. Did you notice that? So everything's given to you, and we're going to have worksheets that aren't. So it might ask you for the cosine of C. Here's C. This is your hypotenuse. This is your opposite, and this is your adjacent. And so what's going to happen eventually is it's going to not give you the adjacent side. So you would have to find a squared plus b squared equals c squared, find the missing side, and then do your trig ratio. However, if you look at all the triangles, they already have all 3 sides. So you lucked out on that. Okay? All right, do you need to do one more of these, or are you ready to go?
You do like 2 more.
2 more. Which, you want to just do the one we're on?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, let's do this one. So in number 11, again, I don't have to use Pythagorean theorem. They gave me all 3 sides. So cosine, find your little sheet. Cosine says adjacent over hypotenuse. So everything's in the labeling. The adjacent, so cosine C, adjacent is 16, hypotenuse is 34. All right, you want to make it easy, throw it in the calculator, but you can just reduce by dividing by 2. That's 16 over 34, 8/17. So I think I'm going to put that up there just to make it an easy check. There you go. All right, so we've done one of each. What do you want to do now? Sine, cosine, or tangent? Pick one more.
18.
18. Okay. 18 is tangent of x. So find x. Your opposite and adjacent vary depending on which variable you're using. So if I'm focusing on x, then this is my adjacent. That's the key. This is my opposite, and this is my hypotenuse. All right, so what is tangent equal to? Well, that's that TOA. That's opposite over adjacent. So I want to keep referring to this. Even if I think I know, I'm probably going to double check. Opposite is on top, adjacent is on the bottom. And is that a 9? Am I reading that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you throw this in the calculator, it's not going to reduce because 9 has nothing in common with 40. If you throw it in the calculator, it's going to give you that mixed number again, 4 and 4/9. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to switch it back to 49. So that's how I know it's reduced. Now, some of your calculators that have a simplify key, you actually need to hit that simplify key probably twice because it only reduces a little and you might have to see if it goes further. So use your trig ratio and then go ahead and work on this worksheet.